Hey everyone, Soundwave884 here in the Transformers Studio Series 86 review. In this review, take a look at Studio Series Deluxe Class Brawn. And right here is this package. Box art right here. Turn to the side. Repeat of the box art. Turn to the back. 23 steps. Gets you all the way around. Does come with the gun. It is from the Decepticon shuttle ambush. This is right here. In an effort to protect the crew, Brawn is the first to suicide himself when the Decepticons attack the Autobot shuttle. Yeah. I just summed it up there. More artwork on the side, same as that. That's your box. Inside, you get your handy dandy instructions, and you get your backdrop, which is the hole blown in the shuttle by Megatron and the Decepticons. You can get the smoke billowing out right there. A little bit of debris still floating across the screen. And you can take your Brawn. Here he is, and he can be like, Megatron, Decepticons. Or the Decepticons and Megatron. Yeah, and it's die Autobots, and he dies. So, you can put him here in his death scene at his funeral and put him right there on your shelf if you want to display him with the backdrop. Alright, so let's focus more on the actual figure Brawn. It is a nice rendition of the G1 character. We'll slide him over just a little bit here, and we'll compare him with this G1 animation model. It is pretty close. Now, it's not exact, of course, because the silver needs to go across the entire legs. You don't have the dark gray or the black little color in here. And the little thing right here is supposed to have like a blue and a silver, but this is the green plastic with the pin that goes through, which honestly makes it look like that. So that part looks fine in my opinion. It's just right here on the can't talk, on the waist, where it's molded in, where if you feel comfortable enough to paint this piece, you can actually add in the dark gray or the black touches and get that full animation look right there on the crotchal. Otherwise, I don't think he's a bad looking figure. We'll go ahead and just do a little 360 spin. Fills in nicely. Not really anything too hollow or glaringly bad on the figure. Of course, he does have his backpack, but that's something you're not going to get away from here on Brawn. And he just have a little bit of hollowness here in his elbows. And it's a little bit of, honestly, cheaper plastic, a little more soft. Both the wheels fold up back here in the back of his legs, give him some beefy shins, but he's supposed to be a strong bot. You need to give him a strong looking appearance. He does have thin arms though, so he doesn't really get him there, but gets him in the legs. So I'm getting some comparisons. We'll compare him real quick here to the Bad Cube MP styled third-party Brawn figure. And of course, this is going to be a little bit bigger, but you can see it does look pretty much like it. I do like the head sculpt on this, actually better than that. I thought I wouldn't, but I did. And we'll bring in here is Netflix Bumblebee, or the War for Cybertron Bumblebee. So we can see the scaling on that, which I think fits. Take him out of the picture. Bring in Titans Returns Brawn. I did do my own little paint touches here on his knees to give him that silver look, because the Hasbro release didn't have that, but the car release was more in line with this color green and did have the more silver down there. So you can get some scaling here with this figure to the main line, to a third-party version. I don't have the Fan Toys hunk, but I do have the Bad Key version. And we'll bring in a G1. This is the keychain that was released from the other brands. It's got a little piece up here. Because my original Brawn broke, and I haven't actually got me a new original G1 Brawn. Because it's really hard to get one without the broken arms. So you can see right here with the stickers to mimic what you've got in the animation model and on the figure. But there we go. And we'll bring in Perceptor, and we'll put Bumblebee back in here. Could we get the Microbots episode crew of Perceptor, Brawn, and Bumblebee? I think this scaling works very well if people are into the scale of the figures. Closer look at the figure. There is the Brawn head sculpt. I didn't think I would like it, but the more I see it in person, it is a lot better in person than it does look in pictures. Get a nice Autobot logo right here. This is all painted. This whole chest piece is molded in green, and back here, and it's just painted. You can see back here into this orangish yellow, and this right here is also painted because it's molded on the green. Now his head, I got my figure. I could not turn this for the life of me. It is on through a pin down here, and it's just cause I got to turn the paint, because they painted his head. It's all solid, and the paint gets on, and it's sort of just dry. I guess it was still sort of fresh when they put it on, or maybe this the heat or something. So you had to kind of break that paint seal. It makes a little smudges up there, but it's not too bad. You might be able to clean that up if you want to try. Now look at the rest of the figure. See where they did mold that in. You can try to paint that up if you want to. Otherwise, it's not bad. This right here, this wheel, he does come with a gun. I haven't showed it off yet. It can store back here. It is pretty much for Outback. Outback's the only actual mini bot in G1 that came with a weapon. Brawn didn't, but I guess he can use one in some episodes because weapon is similar to the one that Bad Cube has with their Brawn. It just stores back here into that. But when you take this off, the wheel can also come out as well. So just let you know that be careful to lose that, but you can take the wheel out and put it in his hand, and you got that. Articulation, the head does do a full 360. So you just got to break the paint. But when this is back there, it's hard to get his head to turn because it's going to hit the back. So I always just pull this down when I want to try to angle his head a certain way and then push it back. So we got that. Shoulders, you get a 360 this way. Out to there, you get your bicep swivels. Elbows bend pretty far out to there. There is no wrist swivels on the figure. You get a waist swivel. You just got to move his backpack, which is 360 degrees. Pulls that back. You get thigh swivels. You get a little more than a full split. Good kick forward. Back, you're going to hit the backpack, of course. Knee bends, you get about 90 degrees, a little less. You get a toe tap, that's for transformation, and a heel tap because it folds up. But that also helps with posing. And you also get ankle tilts for days here. So when you want to pose, you can get the little toes to bend forward as well. So it just gives you an extra little bit of balance, and it just makes his feet be more flat and flush with the ground. And of course, his weapon is blast effect compatible. Alright, so let's transform Brawn into his alt mode. First what we want to do, we're going to bring this piece down here. Turn his head 180 degrees. First time I did this, I couldn't do this part because I couldn't turn his head. Come back here to the backpack. We're going to take this. You want to bring this down like this. Then bring it out like that. Then we get to his waist right here. We want to turn this 180 degrees. Get that waist around. Come to his arms. Bring these down like this. Bring it down. Then we're going to turn to the bicep swivel. Turn it in. Take the hand. Fold it up. It doesn't go all the way. The hand still sort of sticks out the back. So I want to bring that around. Fold that back. So it looks like this. And then we're going to come back here to this, and we're going to bring this around. And then you just fold in, you got the other windows. Bring this one around. Tab, slot, we're going to slot that in, like that. Come down to his legs, we're going to take the feet, we're going to fold the toes and the heels together. And then we're going to undo the legs. Bring them down and around. Now, if you wanted to, he actually has the old G1 look, like the toy with the long skinny legs. If you wanted to try to stand him up this way, I don't know how well he balances, but you kind of get that G1-esque look here. Come to this piece here, you want to rotate this around and become the front of the vehicle. And then we're going to take his head, bring that back up. Now his legs, there's these tabs on these thighs and these little slots in the hands. Now you can try to tab it in now, but it's just going to be coming right out. Because the only thing about this figure I would have a negative is on his hip joints. They're slightly loose going front and back. It's not anything too bad, but the weight of the legs will bring this down. So if you try to tab it in now, it's just going, whoop, that's all it's going to do. So you want to take it at this yellow hinge, orange hinge, and you're going to bring the leg around. The feet here are going to jam right inside of here. There's a tab here, so I'm going to go right in the side here. There's a gap here, so I'm going to this little tab right here. So we're just going to bring that around, fold it all around, find all your tabs, and just tab it together. Do the same on the other one. Now you can try to make sure you get the hands in those little slots there. Like that. Come to the back piece here. I'm going to fold it down. Bring this down. There's tabs on each side. So I'm going to go right inside of here on each side. You see a little slot. Bring it down. Slot that in. There's these two tabs here. Two slots here. One goes further up, one sits at the bottom because of the way this is molded. And there you go. You have transformed Brawn into his G1 alt mode. Looking alt mode, I really do like it. I kind of wish they took the blue and went ahead and did the back side of it, but I guess that's fine. Maybe it's meant to be filled in the back. Nice silver paint here, some of the orange paint on this because this is all molded in the green plastic. Of course, you got the silver paint here. This is what forms his knees when he's in robot mode. This one here does have a little scratch in the paint. You don't notice it as much in robot mode. It's a little more noticeable in vehicle mode because it's on that little corner. I got some scuffs right here on the baby blue windshield. But, you know, I got another one coming, so maybe that one won't be scuffed up. You got a little of the silver here on the wheels. I kind of wish the green was done in some silver paint as well. Something you can do yourself by a paint marker and touch that right on up. So, not bad. He folds up. Very G1-esque, the way he transforms. Enough folding and stuff going on. It's pretty complex, but nothing too hard. I mean, it's not complex, but it's more than just fold this, fold that, and he's done. You got to actually undo some panels, some hinges. So it's got a lot going on. The wheels do all spin freely as well, so he rolls extremely well. And it's a good looking alt mode for Brawn. We'll do some size comparisons. Tighten your turns or power the primes. I'm not exactly sure which one. This is Brawn. Then we'll bring in Siege Hound to show some comparisons there. He's almost about the size of Siege Hound. Switch that out for Earthrise Prime. Studio Series 86 Buzzworthy Bumblebee Ironhide getting blasted, but that's their size comparison with them two. And if you have the oversized is it KBB Hornets Angel Bumblebee, that's your scaling you're going to get out of them too. If you want this scaling, it makes it a little more compact Bumblebee than the War for Cybertron Netflix B does. Also in vehicle mode, you can take his weapon. You can store it right up here on the top. So he actually has a weapon, a blaster in vehicle mode to shoot the Decepticons. If only he used that and started out with that in the 86 movie, maybe he would have lasted just a little bit longer. And last but not least, go ahead and show him off right here with the G1 counterpart. Like I said, this is from that keychain, Fun for All, whatever it was. We're pretty much using the G1 mold just with an added on thing there. So you get a look. Man, it's almost like spot on. The colors are different because it's going more for the animation than the toy. But the way the molding, it looks really good. Turn it to the sides and to the back. It looks almost just like the old G1 toy from the behind part. And of course, you got the spare tire up top. Awesome. Brawn was always my favorite Autobot when I was a kid. It was a shame to see him die first in the movie. And it actually made me a little angry as a kid because Brawn was always portrayed as the tough bot. He could take a licking and keep on ticking. He took one lick in the movie and he didn't take any more. But a lot of people like to have their little fan theories that he lived and survived. Final thoughts on Studio Series 86 Brawn. I really enjoy the figure. I really like the look of the figure. I'm a little biased because Brawn is my favorite Autobot of all time. So I'm going to like it. But since he's my favorite though, you think I'll be a little more nitpicky to make sure it lived up to my expectations. And this figure does. It does let me down slightly in the crotch where it should have that little dark gray or black paint there. That does bug me, but that's really the only thing on the figure that bugs me about the look of it. Now the actual quality of it, the paint on the head making it stuck and making it fear to break the toy or something when you're trying to twist the head. And maybe your mileage may vary kind of thing, where some figures will have it and some figures won't have that problem. Also, there's a little bit of the paint scraping on the little silver here, the scuffs on the blue, and then the loose hips just, sort of bog it down when I'm trying to pose them in robot mode. Sometimes the hips just want to not work, not cooperate with me, but I can still get them posed up fairly well. Anyway, thanks for watching this review. Until the next ones. Peace out.